So let's talk about AI security training. I want to ask you a tough question right off the bat. Is your company's current approach accidentally creating huge risks? Today, we're going to dig into why that one-size-fits-all model just doesn't work anymore. We'll explore a much smarter way to build your security strategy, and it all comes down to focusing on two key things: what an employee's job is and where in the world they're doing it. Let's get into it.
Okay, before we dive in, just a quick heads up. What you're about to see is part 3 of a 5-part executive summary. It's based on a really comprehensive report by Virtualization Options LLC. So, we're just scratching the surface here, giving you a high-level briefing on one key section. It's a brief overview, and of course it comes with no warranty.
All right, let's start with a really crucial question. Is your AI security training treating everybody the same? I mean, really think about it. Is the developer who's actually coding your AI models getting the exact same training as the marketing executive who's just using them? If the answer is yes, well, your organization might be dangerously exposed.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why a single, generic approach to AI risk is a non-starter. Then, we'll cover the security basics that absolutely everyone needs to know. From there, we'll get to the really interesting part, profiling risk by job role. And then we'll add that second critical layer, geography. And finally, we'll bring it all together and show you how to build a powerful risk matrix for your own team.
Okay, first big idea. Treating all AI risk the same is basically a recipe for disaster. You know that generic one-size-fits-all training program? It isn't just inefficient. The source material for this goes so far as to call it a fundamentally failed approach. Why? Because it completely ignores where the real, specific threats are actually lurking.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? Not all security risks are created equal. When you pretend they are, you leave your most critical teams wide open to the very specific threats they face every single day. The dangers for the person building the AI are just in a completely different universe than the dangers for the person who's simply using it.
Now, before we can start customizing everything, we absolutely need a solid foundation to build on. And that's what we call the shared security baseline. Think of it as the essential, non-negotiable knowledge that every single person in the company, from an intern all the way up to the CEO, has to have.
So what's actually in this universal toolkit? Well, it starts with the absolute fundamentals, stuff like identity and access management, which is really just a fancy way of knowing who gets to touch what. It also covers data governance and just a core awareness of those AI-specific threats. The whole point is to create a kind of company-wide literacy, making sure everyone can spot a potential problem and knows exactly what to do when they see one.
All right, so once we have that baseline locked in, we can add our first dimension of risk, and that is the employee's specific job function. This is where security training stops being generic and starts being truly effective.
This visual right here is basically our blueprint. You'll notice everything at the top connects back to that shared baseline we just talked about: ID control and data governance. But right below that, it all branches out into 8 totally distinct roles. We've got model developers, executives, incident responders, you name it. And each one faces a totally unique primary risk. So let's use this as a guide and look at just how different those risks really are. Let's just compare two extremes for a second. On one side, you have your model developers. Their biggest threat is super technical, something like code injection, where an attacker literally corrupts the brain of the AI model. So their training has to be deep in the weeds technically. But then you look at your regular business users. Their risk has nothing to do with code, it's all about interaction. They're up against phishing attacks and these clever prompt injections that are designed to trick them, or the AI itself, into giving up sensitive data. And the risks just keep shifting from role to role. Take data curators, for example. They are the guardians of your data's integrity. Their main battle is against what are called poisoned data attacks, where bad info gets secretly fed into the system to create these little ticking time bombs. Then you've got your executives, the high-value targets. For them, the biggest risk is corporate espionage, where bad actors are using AI as a high-tech crowbar to pry open top-level secrets.
And it doesn't stop there. The second you bring in third-party vendors, you're introducing supply chain risk. A weak link in their software can suddenly become your weak link. Now contrast that with your internal incident responders. Their job is all about reaction. They need super technical training to spot and shut down unauthorized access, and they have to understand the really complex behavior of an AI system that might be under attack.
So we've mapped out all the different risks based on what people do. But believe it or not, that's only half the puzzle. Now we have to add the second critical dimension:
geography. Because the rules that govern AI and data change dramatically depending on where you are in the world, and an employee's location completely changes their security obligations.
I mean, just look at this table. It shows you just how different the landscape is. An employee over in the EU has to deal with really strict privacy laws like GDPR and the new AI Act. But if they're in the US, they've got to align with the NIST framework for managing AI risk. And in the Asia-Pacific region, it's often all about these incredibly complex data sovereignty laws that tell you where your data is even allowed to exist. Trying to make one training program for all three isn't just ineffective, it's a huge legal liability.
And that brings us to the final and most important step, putting it all together. We take our two dimensions, the job role and the geography, and we merge them. This is how we finally move away from that generic, ineffective training and toward a precise, targeted security plan that actually works.
So here it is, the key takeaway of this whole explainer, a two-dimensional risk matrix. It's a really simple idea, but it's so powerful. On one axis, you've got the job function. On the other axis, you've got the geography. The point where those two lines intersect? That defines an employee's unique AI security profile. And that profile tells you exactly what training they need. No more, no less. And so that leaves us with one final critical question for you to take back to your own organization. How well does your current training program map to this kind of two-dimensional model? Are you actually preparing your people for the specific, nuanced risks that they genuinely face every day? Answering that question honestly, well, it might just be the most important step you take in your AI security strategy all year.